Hi, I'm Jane Brecken. I'm being joined today by Rosie Kuhn, and we are going to be talking about deep recovery, the fourth part of our interview series on the workshop being held on Gull Lake on August 13th and 14th. Welcome, Rosie.
Thanks, Jane. It's nice to see you again.
Yeah, nice to have you here. So,
Thank
Rosie,
you.
today I'm wondering if we could talk a little bit more about the distinguish a bit from folks that are doing some counseling, folks that are maybe in treatment for addiction recovery, folks that are considering some life coaching. And I would love to refer to your book called Me, 101 Indispensable Insights I Didn't Get in Therapy. Could we talk about that a bit today?
Sure. So,
Great.
So this book, prior to doing the work that I do now, I was a therapist in Nova Scotia. I worked in the field of recovery for almost 10 years. And so a lot of what I write about and a lot of what I think about is what I didn't get in therapy, but I get from this process called life coaching. For me, life coaching, and especially this work, we'll talk about transformational coaching in a second. But for me, life coaching is a set of skills. It's just a set of skills, set of questions, if you will, and it's a way of working with individuals who have the capacity and the desire to be accountable in their own lives for their own reality. So in a sense, life coaches as much as therapists and counselors and people working in addiction recovery, we're wanting to empower people. We're wanting to empower people to empower themselves to become more and more accountable for what shows up in their life. That means good stuff and the not so good stuff. So life coaching is very specific in terms of being inquiry based. It asks a lot of questions of people because it comes from the foundation or the principle that people already know what's right and good and what's their highest contribution in the world. They already know that. And if we ask them the questions, they can answer them most of the time. So coaching is based on inquiry, which we ask questions rather than telling people what to do or what to think or how they think. So that's number one. Number two is all of us are wanting something. We want serenity, we want happiness, we want fulfillment, we want partnership, we want connection, we want engagement, we want prosperity. We have these wants. And until someone actually asks us what those wants are, then we don't necessarily think about it that way. So a person who wants recovery, it's like, what are they wanting? Well, we say, well, I want to stop drinking alcohol, or I want to stop substance abuse, or I want to stop the panic attacks, or I want to stop the depression. But we say, well, what is it, what will you have when you stop the depression, the anxiety, the substance abuse? What will you have? And they'll say, well, I'll have the ability to go to work and to participate in life in the way I want to. It's like, okay, great. What will you have when you can go to work and participate in life the way you want to? They go, So we're getting to the source of it's like, what's their fundamental desires?
Right.
If we don't, go ahead.
And the set of skills piece, because it's really, I can relate to that in my own experience of, so I've been, acting as a therapist and counselor for many years. And so this life coaching set of skills for me was extremely helpful in that the inquiry, I learned a little bit more about the importance of the inquiry piece. And so I just really feel that this workshop is going to be wonderful for those folks that are doing this work that do want to sort of gain this set of skills that you're talking about, just as I have.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
thank you for that.
And it's sometimes challenging because we have to attend to the principles of what do we believe about people. So in a sense, what I believe about people is they already know. I don't have to tell them much. Sometimes I do, or sometimes they need some education or some experience, direct experience that's going to give them the knowledge and what they need. But quite often I can just ask the questions and they have the answer. So the 4 questions I'll just give you really quickly that I ask is, what do you want? Okay. What do you want? I want serenity. Okay. What are the obstacles in the way? Number 2, what obstacles are in the way of you having serenity and peace and connection and belonging? What's the obstacles in the way? Or even what's the obstacle to your recovery, or what's the obstacle to giving up depression? Now, some people can't believe that they can't choose, but I believe that we can choose to move in the direction and be accountable for what shows up. That's a number 2 accountability piece of this work that we do as coaches, is people are saying, hey, I want this in my life. And it's like, great, what will you be doing to make that happen? So question number 3 is, number 1 is, what do you want? Number 2, what's the obstacle in the way? Number 3, what needs to shift so that you can have that? And they'll answer it. They'll tell you my attitude, my living situation, where I'm working, how I take care of myself. They'll tell you what needs to shift.
Wow.
Number 4 is, so what will you practice to shift that? Okay. So now
there it is.
Very simple, very elegant, easy. And now it's walking the talk, right? It's like, yeah, now let's go in, let's do it. Let's do the work.
Right.
And that's the level of accountability and personal empowerment. How much am I willing to really step into this work? And the more that I'm willing to step into it, in a sense, immerse myself in this real process of self-exploration and self-evolving to my fulfillment, that's the degree to which I'm willing to dive deep into this recovery process.
Right. Hence the deep recovery.
Hence the deep recovery.
I have just so many more questions to ask. So we're just going to have to keep going. And so how about we just cut it off for here, and then next time we can talk a little bit more specifically about those 4 questions, and a little bit, if you will. Could we do that next time?
Sure. Be happy to.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Rosie.
You're welcome.
I'll see you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.